Salve, salve galerinha, chegamos para o último jogo do dia entre PSG e Wildcats, brother. Mano, a cena do Holy Phoenix eu acho que não vai passar, de jeito nenhum. Eu acho impressionante que mesmo eles tirando a cena, mesmo sem jogar de cena, os caras não querem jogar contra vários. Tá bom, né? Ele sim, beleza. Tiraram a Leona do Kai Wing, interessante. Querem tirar o conforto dele. Só que o Kai Wing é um puta de um jogador de Rakan também, cara. Não sei se é uma boa ideia tirar isso não. O cara joga com o campeão e com o counter dele, então é perfeito, porque aí você tira um dos campeões dele e você tá tirando o counter do outro. E aí? Eu acho legal da Wildcats deixar os dois open e pegar um e pegar o outro, sabe? Mas o Rumble tá muito forte. E agora sem o Uga também. Opa! Achei legal, achei legal, achei legal. Isso quer dizer que a gente pode estar vendo aqui um matchup de Morgana contra o Rumble. O quê?
No! I mean, maybe, because both Rumble and Morgana are open, so it's possible PSG are just happy with that trade, but I personally think that Rumble is just so crazy right now. Not in love with the first.
Mano, será que o Ferret vai ter essa noção aí? Sabe qual seria a maior pau no cozice do século? Se eles pegam Rumble e Morgana agora. Imagina se eles pegam Rumble e Morgana agora, velho. Imagina se eles pegam Rumble e Morgana, velho. Eu ia rir muito, velho. Eu ia rir muito. Porque a Morgana é forte contra o Nautilus, velho. Yumi?
It would not surprise me to see that go ahead and get snapped in immediately.
Of course, if they do get that carry into Maple's hands, that's exactly what you want to see. Hovering on a number
Vai ser a Morgana. Eles não vão fazer isso, cara. Trash, tá. Tem umas interações interessantes entre o Thresh e o Nautilus que fazem o Thresh tancar. Opa, é, a Morgana do outro lado, beleza. Tá. O Rumble, só que a diferença é que agora você tem o Rumble do lado da PSG que pode quebrar o Black Shield da Morgana com facilidade. 1 segundo, 2 segundos no máximo do fogo e você queimou o Black Shield, então meio esquisito. Inside the laning phase, but there are still a lot of physical damage options available for Maple. The nice thing is because you're running a Renekton on the top side too, Maple does still será que eles vão deixar o set, eu acho. Porque o Renekton tem um matchup muito tranquilo no set. Talvez eles tirem Ornn.
Depending on what the Wildcats throw out, albeit not expecting it. It will be the Kalista, followed up by the Gnaw as a removal for what Starscreen would consider. And I would expect probably another 80 carry ban maybe from Wildcats. There's the Jinx, another high priority pick here at MSI.
All right, it's interesting because
we
just saw how insane the Aphelios can be in the later stages of the game too, so that is a possibility. Okay, so PSG, they say, well, actually, because you're running Morgana jungle, you might want an AD mid laner. Oh, that makes some sense. We banned Illusion ourselves because, of course, coming out of this first phase of picks,
tem uma Tristana open ainda.
Will not be
seria deny também.
What are you thinking about here for Doggo? I mean, Tristana
seria um bom pick pro mid. Tristana.
Preference he wants to lean towards.
Isso daí de novo não.
on the side
Puta
of
que pariu,
Wildcats
muito
targeting
chato.
his role. And the fact that Kaisa has already been pinched away. Starscream will run the
Agora vamos pegar a Felios e o Urgot.
We'll find out what he prefers.
I mean, I think that
Zaya.
there's nothing really wrong with going for the Aphelios.
Zaya
Some
Victor.
more survivability, of course, like the Zaya ultimate is very effective up against the Nautilus. If that's coming towards you, it's one of the only things you can use to dodge the point and click, so you can get away no problem. If this does get locked in, it does mean there's a lot of flexibility for PSG.
Teamfight que eles
I
querem.
like that they are going for the Aphelios, but right, you can play towards topside here with Rumble and Renekton into the GP if you want to try and look for maybe early tower dive, stacking up the wave, building it in to look for a punish, of course. Also, as soon as level 6 rolls around for the bot lane too, you have a lot of setup when Rumble can just drop the equalizer
Zoe.
and make it so easy for the follow-up to come through.
Oh,
Lock-in. What will this be
melhor.
here for Maple?
De novo.
A lot of damage from the Rumble, the Renekton.
Nice.
And it will be locking in the Aphelios. And just looking over at some of the ultimates that can be stolen. Big impact, not the largest right now, and Saren will need to
Ele não pode ser
decide what he wants
counterado
to
no
play
mid. Oh,
into
isso daí seria outra vida, hein?
Silas.
É
And when you look at the rest of the
difícil, mas dá
composition,
pra
this is
jogar.
just damage galore.
Contra essa
Yeah, for sure.
composição
And you
dá
have
pra
a lot
jogar
of these,
também.
like, CC ultimates. I think that's really
Só que você
important,
quer dar essa
to see
ult
here
pro
next to the
Silas?
because if you have a Nautilus
Nossa,
ult plus
nice,
a Rumble,
very nice,
no
very
counterplay
nice,
to get away
very
from
nice,
that.
very
It's actually
nice,
a
very
Yone
nice.
to go ahead and get locked in
Tá.
at the end.
Vamos lá, vamos lá. Mid lane vai ser interessante, as trocas vão ser bem legais, os dois campeões têm sustain, têm dano. O Yone escala melhor o late game do que o Silas, tá? Só pra deixar bem claro. Bot lane tá bem even, mas a Wildcats tem push. E top ele é muito voltado pra PSG. Ele tem setup de gank nas 3 lanes desde que eles acertem as skills. E cara, e é um time de composições squish. Os dois times querem fightar muito heavy. E cara, sendo bem sincero, o Silas tem muitas ults boas pra roubar. A piorzinha é a da Kaisa, mas ele pode roubar a ult do GP, a ult da Morgana, a ult do Yone, a própria Yone é muito roubada. A ult do Nautilus, são só ults boas pra ele roubar. Isso é bem interessante, cara. São jogos equilibrados, cara. Um jogo bem equilibrado. Vai depender de como desenhar essa lane em phase, se os times fizerem algum tease. O early game da Kaisa é bem melhor que o da Felios. Se eles conseguirem abusar disso também vai ser bem favorável. E é isso. Basicamente é isso. Os dois times querem lutar, só que a Kaisa ela quer que alguém dê o CC atrás pra poder entrar. É basicamente isso. A loucura deve começar no nível 6. E são dois times que vão querer teamfightar. Mas lembra que teamfight é o domínio da PSG. É o lugar que eles gostam de estar e é o que eles gostam de fazer.
But as we close out the first round robin here at MSI, another very interesting draft from the Wildcats and from Talon, and a lot at stake. These two teams will come back on Monday. They'll close out the back half of the round robin. And there's more pressure on the Wildcats as they've yet to pick up a win, especially when you last pick a Yone.
Yeah.
You have to execute, and this is one of the champions that is feast or famine.
Oh, for sure, and especially because Maple was like, okay, what am I going to pick in the mid lane? Okay, it's the blind Silas. What have you got? Maple feeling confident to run that champion into just about everything. Well, Saren now on the Yone going to hold a large burden on his shoulders. See what he can get done around the mid lane. Can you disrupt Maple from teaming up with River and impacting the rest of the map? We already know it's going to be hard to attack bot lane for the Wildcats. It's going to be hard to attack top lane. Mid lane could be the answer.
Mid lane could be the answer. Okay, let's see, can they do it though? As we see Saren already stepping into lane, facing down. Got himself the Conqueror, flash TP, matched on the other side. And we're seeing this Rumble versus Morgana matchup. It's two junglers that have taken over the meta, and discussion had a huge impact on all the other lanes. There's just a fan out here start from both sides, and both Ferret as well as River starting on the top half of the map.
For the time being, you see Rumble just smash that W key, get the Fury up. Of course, the big buffs there being the attack speed when you go for the
nada de exótico quanto a runas, nada de exótico quanto a começo de jogo. Guards bem padrão, defesa padrão na jungle também.
And the Wildcats don't have many great level 1 tools to try and disrupt anything that PSG are trying to do. So I like the late ward on the enemy Raptor camp. See that will spot out Ferret as he passes top to bot.
I was just taking a look through the rest of the summoner spells during draft. You mentioned all the CC on Talon's side. Only Phoenix running that cleanse, going to be crucially important, but so many tools and such long.
Uma coisa que é foda, assim, que é difícil de lidar, é justamente o fato de que a... Tá, vamos lá, primeiro. A PSG, ela tem um AD Carry com mais dano, e os dois times têm mais ou menos o mesmo alcance de engage. Ou de dano, né? Que você tem como entrar com o ult do Yone, só que você tem o tapetinho do Rumble, que é mais ou menos o mesmo range. Ué, gente, você quer trocar esse DC mesmo, filho? Ah, o Thresh fez a interação! Se você der o Flay no timing certo, o Nautilus não consegue te dar o auto-ataque depois. Muito bom. É, como eu imaginei, a pressão era da bot lane no início é deles. Making his way north, Ferret the exact opposite.
Yeah, Saren just matched the ward on the enemy Raptor camp. It's like a peace of mind ward because I think it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's like, okay, well, Rumble's going to be here pretty soon, but now you see that he's going to be going towards the top side. And again, Starscream does have to look out.
Os dois estão mais ou menos no mesmo tempo, deve ser segundinho, 3 segundos de distância de um pro outro, no máximo de diferença.
Ferret doesn't really like super speed through the jungle.
Principalmente porque a Morgana ranged e o Rumble é melee. Então ele demorou um pouquinho mais para fazer os negócios que ele tinha que fazer.
Kind of ramps up in effectiveness to clear multiple camps at the same time, and Starscream will have this wave moving just a little bit closer as River will clear off his blue buff as expected, and Saren continues to push out that mid lane. Ferret just hits level 4, and a lot of pressure down bottom as Holy Phoenix and Farfetch are shoving in.
Well, check this out. Starscream was channeling the recall for just a moment, decided not to end up going for it in the top side of the map, and that wave is building up. So after Scuttlecrab, the option is going to be there, and I think the right choice for Scuttlecrab...
A ward suja da PSG, que pegou o Carioca ontem. Agora pegou o Ferret. Cara, essa ward aí é muito boa. É tipo a nossa ward atrás do Barão. Uma ward muito boa.
Outside of this top lane CS, and you expect that in the early levels.
It's the force play though, right? It's something that Starscream has to do. Of course, the dive didn't end up coming through, but you have to pay the respect, and it causes River to end up going for the early base. You'll notice both mid laners did also hold on to their teleport. Hanabi doesn't even have to go back to base just yet, but Ferret will be in the area. There was a ward left in that tri-brush. And there's a TP flank here from Saren. He's just sending it.
Well, let's see what Saren can do. Dredgeline will not find its target. River will arrive just in time.
Yone nível 5 gankando, acho que não é bom isso não.
Now River's going to start firing up his electro as well as the flame spitter for first blood. Turns his attention to Farfetch, and it is
Ai.
That is just a terrible teleport. I don't know what Saren was thinking. Ferret just recalled walk topside. River, you knew his pathing. He's only ever going to be bot lane, and Maple also had the TP to respond. Even if River wasn't there,
cara, isso foi assim, não fez nenhum sentido.
And River was able to be there just in time by a couple extra seconds for Maple to arrive, who's now picked up a kill and an assist. River on that rumble with a kill of his own, and now Ferret and
Cara, por que o Yone nível 5 tá dando teleporte na bot lane pra criar jogada?
Yeah, he's got the ward there that sees them moving over, and again, it's just math. Right now it's 3 versus 2, but it's about to be 4 versus 3 in favor of PSG. They don't have the burst damage to finish off Doggo either. He even holds on to the flash through this play, so just a big misread there from the Wildcats, and it kind of explodes the entire bot lane for them too.
Acabou a bot lane total, realmente.
Able to at least pick up the dragon here, Ender. And after how disappointed you are at that teleport, let's talk about what this means for a champion like Yone. He's still a little bit ahead on the CS, but I said during draft, this is a champion that's going to feast or famine. Does it start to make you a little bit nervous?
I mean, yes, it does make me nervous. It's not even as much about the Yone, I think, as it is about the Aphelios, right? Aphelios completely can take over games, and there's not a lot of great dive threats from the Wildcats, right? You have the GP ult and, of course, the Yone, and especially if Yone has a black shield on him, like, that's really threatening going over towards Doggo, but Doggo's always going to have Kaiwing sitting.
O Yone precisa crescer no jogo, velho.
A threshold you reach on Aphelios where you get a little bit of life steal, you walk into the fights with the right guns, and you are nigh unkillable. And that has just got sent forward just
Opa, pode ser pique no Maple? Com a Kai'Sa lá. A Kai'Sa tá nível 4. O que a Kai'Sa nível 4 tá fazendo no mid? O que a Kai'Sa nível 4? O que ela tá fazendo no mid, cara? O que ela tá fazendo no mid, cara? Ela tá dividindo XP com todo mundo e o Doggo vai pegar nível 6 antes.
But he needs to have a positive impact. And of course, Hanabi is still doing very well in this top lane. Continues to bully, continues to push into Starscream. And while he won't be able to have that global impact that Starscream's ultimate will
have, olha o tempo que essa Kai'Sa tá perdendo aí, velho. Ela não tem ult. O que ela quer fazer?
I do like the idea from Farfetch and Holy Phoenix to see if they can make an attack on mid, but I don't think it's going to work out against Maple. You'll notice if we look at the bot lane on your mini.
Sei lá, os malucos parecem que tem terço de cérebro cada.
PSG can just hold the wave in front of their turret because Ferret's in the top side. You can't step forward because Holy Phoenix and Farfetch, neither of them have the flash. So it's impossible to lane. Look at it. It's just miserable. They have to go to their jungle camps and farm them. That's making Ferret unhappy. Holy Phoenix is unhappy because he's not
Porque se a wave não crasha na torre, ela não tem o bounce, ela não volta.
That destroys a team on the international stage. One mistake to start off the game has turned into so much more.
Essa wave aí puxa sozinha agora. Quantidade de minions magos.
On this stacking wave, PSG aren't actually setting up some sort of turret dive, which very well could have been a possibility if they'd wanted to.
And then you add on to the fact that Starscream's under so much pressure in the top lane, he feels the need to use the Cambarage to clear the waves out. I mean, you're seeing that at 8 minutes into
agora o Holy Phoenix, pegando esse nível 6 que ele deve pegar nessa wave, ele pode sim pensar nessas sujeiras em outras rotas.
They do have that dragon, which is one small solace to talk about, and they do have the ability to blow up one of the smaller or squishier targets on the side of Talon.
I like it. Zooming on forward to place down the ward, and then you snap back into the lane. It's the little things.
You just watch Talon picking this one up. And where did they decide to put it? River has access to the ultimate. Dominus is up for Hanabi as well. He's got those plated steel caps too. So now the dive power is on the cards, and Doggo swapping to top
think this is a brilliant play from PSG to run to the top lane because, you know, they're winning top lane, they're winning bot lane. Why swap, you ask? Well, the one lane swap tool was just blown. Starscream used his cannon barrage to clear a wave in the top lane, and usually if you go for a swap against a GP, you always lose on the turret pressure because of that global, that wave clear tool. Now Ferret is zooming up into the top lane, but Doggo doesn't take the bait.
Ele esperou, muito bom.
Farfetch had to go for the preemptive hook. It does not connect.
E cara, a bot lane da PSG tá muito na frente da Wildcats.
Kaiwing will get caught up by the Hex Flash Dredge line. There's the equalizer coming out. Doggo gets pulled forward. White-red combination. Gonna melt through Starscream. Ferret may be the next target. As the Soul Shackles will find itself a stun. And there's a lot of damage followed up from the root. The Dredge line as well. Heal is thrown down from Doggo. He continues to fire out. And
nice chegada dele.
Is in the game.
PSG go for the fight on the top side. And the Wildcats like, yeah, I don't think you want to go for that one. Saren was already on the rotation over. So he's able to right some of the wrongs of the early game. That is an important kill to get the bot lane back in the game.
Crucially though, it shows how difficult it may be to deal with the Aphelios. He didn't have the damage at that time, and if he manages to pick up those items, we'll see in the new
Não, primeiro, o Kaiwing errou o Hulk. Beleza, entrou. Só que o Aphelios não ultou nesse... Se o Aphelios ulta no GP ali, não ia ter esse dano aí.
Coming off of that play as well as Doggo is removed from the map, doesn't get to clear out the following wave. And again, if you did a freeze frame before that play, everything's going well for PSG because Hanabi had actually forced Holy Phoenix to base. He's like, you can't 1v1 me. Well, now we got 3 players in the bot lane.
No flash from Starscream, and that was well set up there by Kaiwing. Flash into the flate, easily set up, and donated to Doggo. Good boy there picking up his first kill. He's got 2 assists.
Vai rolar arauto e a primeira torre. Tá.
Yeah, well, we've also got Rift Herald too, right? That's in the bot lane too on River's back, and they can just whack this turret a couple of times, place that themselves. They might not even need to use it necessarily, depending on the defense. You'll see Saren is on the way down, and Starscreen does have ult and TP when he does.
Eles não vão conseguir derrubar a torre, não.
His way down to the bottom here, and River's gonna step by. No ultimate available for that Yone. Death sentence will connect onto Farfetch, and the dredge line will be dodged away.
Cara, o Doggo parece ser um cara que já jogou esse matchup umas 72 vezes. Esses dois aí parecem ter jogado o matchup 5 milhões de vezes. Claro, né? O Kaiwing, né, jogando de Thresh, obviamente ele já jogou esse matchup porque o Nautilus é um counter tradicional pro Thresh, né? Mas o Doggo também deve ter feito isso. Cara, e lembrando que o Unified, que é o AD Carry principal da PSG, não está disponível. Ele está com problemas de saúde, por isso ele não viajou com a equipe. E aí, o time finalista, né, o time que jogou separado com ele, que o time que jogou contra eles na final, que foi a Beyond Gaming, a Beyond jogou. Nossa, meu Deus. A Beyond, o time que jogou a final contra eles, emprestou o AD Carry pra eles. Então, tipo assim, você tem teoricamente o segundo melhor AD Carry da liga. Então é pouca perda de qualidade. A principal perda que eles têm é em sinergia, né? Porque você tá com o mesmo time, a não ser há muito tempo. Uma bot lane que já joga junto há muito tempo. O Unified Kaiwing já são há 2 mundiais, já são a bot lane da PSG há 2 anos, então, né, imagina. Se eu não me engano, eles nem eram do PSG antes, mas eles já jogavam juntos. Nossa, o Holy Phoenix chegou muito mal na fight, ó. Evaporado. Tipo, do que adianta você tirar o Aphelios se você perdeu a Kai'Sa pra isso? Tem uma grande diferença do Rumble também, cara. Uma diferença imensa do Rumble é que o Rumble não usa mana. Por ele não usar mana, ele nunca vai ter problema de, tô sem recurso. Não, é cooldown. E a alma das nuvens. Novamente, uma alma que é boa em qualquer um dos times. É talvez melhor para a PSG do que para a Wildcats. Porque basicamente você vai estar usando a ult do Silas a cada 2 segundos, a ult do Rumble a cada 2 segundos e meio. Então é roubadíssimo.
Remember, I'm not down with the kids' lingo these days, so I had to ask at some point, and it's going to take such a long time before the Wildcats' itemization will be able to, balance out this difference. There's 3 mythics on the side of Talon already versus thrift shopping from the Wildcats, so that's going to be complicated even further. The plates have just fallen. It's one dragon
tá, vamos lá, agora.
Tipo
assim, vai, entre aspas, dar pra estancar um pouco o sangramento. Porque e o Doggo também veio de força do Vendaval. Curioso. É um time squish, ele não precisa de um Atacraken, a gente tem razão. E pro Aphelios ter uma ferramenta de mobilidade que ele consiga ficar um pouquinho mais independente é incrível. Eita. Eles vão pegar a torre do top agora. Ou eles vão tentar levar no braço e fazer a torre do mid.
When was the last time we saw Hanabi and Starscreen on our screen? And it was like, well, it's because Hanabi's just been completely bullying him. We've been censoring that.
Caralho, 60 de farm no Renekton.
That's just how this game is going. PSG miles ahead in every single position.
It really is. 3 versus 4 for now, but Hanabi is making his way up through the river. White red from Doggo allows a lot of damage to go onto the tower and still sticking around, still staying forward until the lantern actually times out.
Eu particularmente acho que eles podem até culpar a Mad Lions por essa derrota aí ser tão feia. A gente também pode culpar a Mad Lions, por quê? Porque a Mad Lions bateu tanto na PSG que eles ficaram putos. E aí fudeu. Meu Deus. Queimaram o ult do Ferret e não usaram o Arauto. Vão usar o Arauto pro mid. É isso. E vão usar pra pegar o dragão ainda. Dá tempo, sobra tempo.
Hanabi's like, okay, whatever, dude, I'm gonna get the work done inside the jungle. So they get the tower off that play. Starscreen will be telling his team, it's okay, guys, I'm getting gold, and that is true for the time being. But when push comes to shove, Hanabi's still incredibly powerful, and now it's up to PSG to attack, to punish Starscreen.
Meu amigo, e o Renex não vadia Mundianário dessa vez, ele quer recuperar a vida na luta. Espertinho ele.
Well, Maple's gonna start this one off. River arrives. He's going to be caught out here. Equalizer comes down. Saren forced to dash away with his ultimate. Cannot hold the lane. Herald could be dropped to put pressure on this tower.
Yeah, the Herald's going to be too much. I was going to say before the Herald, maybe you can use the Cannon Barrage to cut down on that minion wave. Then only your teammate needs to delete the Cannon minion. Yeah, see, I don't think that Cannon Barrage is going to accomplish much of anything. It does keep the tower alive.
PSG tá jogando muito safe. Muito safe.
And Starscreen's freeze is slipping away.
There is still a flash available for this Gangplank. He's already used it. Gets caught by those harpoons and is melted.
Like a glacier in 2021,
mano, a PSG tá dando soco com as mãos e o pé, e chutando e fazendo tudo, e pelo menos eles foram punidos no mid, né? Pelo amor de Deus.
Remember when I told you that Doggo was kind of crazy sometimes?
Yes.
He's wild with it, okay? He's got his flash, he's got his heal up. No problem, guys. He's just gonna run it down to mid lane while the rest of his team gets this lead even bigger.
The proof is in the pudding, and Doggo continues to pressure using the abilities. But the thing is, right, when you have this gigantic lead, you do tend to see teams play a little bit looser, a little bit more eager, shall we say.
Nossa, que jogadaça do Maple.
Are you winning, son?
No, absolutely not. And even if you could try to get away, Maple with a stolen ultimate would be able to jump right in there. And if you look at the minimap, there is no more map for the Wildcats to play for. They've now lost their second dragon. Wildcats are looking down the barrel of an 0-3 start to MSI.
Not the position you want to be in. Only 3 more games left to play in the group stage. If you want to move on to the Rumble stage, only the top 2 teams in each group will get that honor. And well, PSG now it's just about closing it out. 6.5k gold. They're looking oh so good now. Already, you know, we were just waiting on like one more mythic item. Maple was a little bit behind the curve for a moment.
The interesting thing is the lead is so big so early that the pace of the game slows down very drastically because it becomes a lot more difficult to push those.
É porque agora, cara, tipo assim, eles estão tão... Realmente, tipo assim, a Wildcats fez tanta merda e a PSG capitalizou tanto em cima dessas merdas que, tipo, se fosse mais pra frente, eles estariam fazendo Barão agora. Só que o Barão não nasceu ainda. Então, você tá numa fase de jogo que você não tem o que fazer. Você tem que, tipo, puxar o wave e é isso.
Hinted to us what their game plan is until, you know, the Baron and the big objectives do end up spawning before it's like, Hanabi, well, when the lane and bot lane gets frozen, it's about him walking into the enemy jungle, getting behind enemy lines, setting up picks inside enemy territory. And you can see they've done a good job at isolating this bottom side jungle. That one ward from the Wildcats is going to end up timing out. Very, very shallow vision from the red side team here. And, well, they've given up top side vision, but that does mean that they are able to cut off rotations between both mid and bot lane. So what they can do is they can full push this wave in mid lane and then sort of fake out and run down towards the bot lane, do this sort of ping pong effect. The second you see the Wildcats, you know, overstep or commit too many into one of these.
Meu Deus.
Just keep applying pressure until somebody makes a move.
Nossa, o cara é imune a shot, velho. O cara é um sabonete. O Doggo. Meu Deus.
Countless times this game already.
And the other great thing about having a Rumble here is like River's allowed to just stay inside of the jungle because his ultimate very high range. He can sort of play both.
Acho que o shot que ele toma é a ult do Yanni. Já tomou e já morreu. Duas vezes já.
Just hoping for a skill shot to land. If they find something connecting, they do have some ability with Saren, with Holy Phoenix, with the Cannon Barrage to jump on and target. But it has to work, because if they don't, much like that team fight we saw probably like 6-7 minutes ago in the bottom lane. Yeah, they managed to get a kill onto Doggo, but everyone else from Talon just melted through the Wildcats for a very early ace.
And don't let the KDA fool you. Doggo has more gold than anyone else in the game. It's evident there with the 2 items. He's also sitting on enough for a BF sword.
Caralho, o maluco tá rico, velho.
Inventory.
O maluco tá fedando e tá multimilionário. Ele tá com 3k em cima da caixa, velho. 3k. Impressionante.
1300 lead in the mid lane. 1300 lead in the jungle. I mean, look, it's 8k in the advantage, right? So, like, obviously.
So it's a lot, is what I'm gathering.
But I think it is important to call out, like, the tower plates and swapping to get additional plates up top is a big reason on why Doggo's Aphelios has been able to build up this lead. And he's becoming almost unkillable. He's getting to that point, 2-3 items where Aphelios is truly activated. And I think a good thing for Talon, now that Baron is up, because of the amount of control and the amount of pressure they've applied to Wildcats, they can now start baiting and forcing Wildcats' hands just a little bit more.
I don't even know if he wanted that hook. If it did land Farfetch, these guys do a whole lot of damage. And now, because there is a major objective with the gravity to try and pull in all the players on the map can contest it whenever PSG disappear into the fog of war, Wildcats have to play so aggressively here, but they don't know where anyone is. Look at the equalizer.
The equalizer is not going to be followed up just yet by Maple. Farfetch is the first victim of the fray. Hanabi, will he be able to TP in? There's enough damage to force Saren and Ferret to 50%.
PSG only used the equalizer. Every other ultimate is ready to go. Maple's playing in the same exact position on the flank. And the Wildcats, they used so much in that play. They lost Farfetch, and they're getting hooked.
Oh, man, the Lantern as well as the death sentence. Goodbye, Ferret. There will be a turret picked up by
Maple, do your thing.
Maple foi pouco longe demais. Meu Deus. Mas é Silas, né, meu camarada? Cadê o corta-cura?
By the way, PSG is still on the Baron.
Unbelievable. The turnaround, Hanabi will buy some time thanks to the Q and not be able to escape with his life, but they get themselves a couple of kills. Doggo and River should be able to finish this one off.
Yeah, Doggo has the crescendo just railing away at the Baron. Easily picked up by them. And now we're teleporting to the bot lane. Maple is a little bit bored. He wants to end things quickly. He sees kill, he wants it, and instead he's changing his mind. He's now going back towards the mid lane.
Won't be able to figure it out because it is 10 seconds until the Dragon. Kai Wing survives the engage. Now Maple wants to get something back. It's caught by the dredge line. Lantern comes up. River arrives to help out if needed. Equalizer is back and available.
O Maple tá muito puto nesse jogo, meu Deus.
Farfetch flashes away from the death sentence, gets the black shield to buy some additional time, and he's not going to be able to escape the flash harpoon.
Meus amigos, esse jogo já acabou, tá? Só pra avisar, assim, a Wildcats, ela consegue ganhar esse jogo, vamos dizer, se ela ganhar mais 20 minutos de tempo e matar o Aphelios na luta. Tá, vamos ser sinceros, ele só precisa de mais, sei lá, 3 itens. 3 itens. Ele precisa de mais 3 itens e não morrer.
It's worked out fantastically. If you look at the minimap, by the way, notice the Talon members starting to move towards the mid lane.
And we're really going to show Saren getting killed again. Man can't catch a break here. River, of course, was just clearing his jungle camps and said, hello, I'll help out and pick up another assist.
It's really, really difficult. I mean, Wildcats now starting to fall further behind. Give Farfetch a leak. He's about as useful as that Pokemon. River will be able to finish off the 14th kill. 3 dragons already secured, and we look at the minimap now. Talon running their way.
Nossa! É o goleiro.
Equalizer comes down. The words you used a moment ago, Ender, was that Maple wants to finish this game quick. Ferret flashes forward, throws down the ulti, goes golden, will buy enough time. Not enough to complete the soul shackles. Cannon Barrage has dropped out as well. Hanabi picks up Holy Phoenix on the back, and it's Maple that gets the second kill into Farfetch. It's another one for Doggo. And the last man standing, Saren, running for his life. Still 55 seconds left on this Baron, and PSG Talon are looking to close the game out, go 2-1 in the groups, and set themselves up as one of the preferred or favorites as we move into the second round.
That wasn't even a strategy. That was just aggressively charging face first at your opponents, and they can't escape PSG.
E cara, basicamente a PSG ela tá tão na frente que ela simplesmente bota a cara e fala, vem. E é isso.
The CS take jungle camps left and right,
Porque sabe qual é o problema, cara? É que, por exemplo, esse Silas não vai ficar mais fraco. O Aphelios ainda vai crescer, ele ainda tem mais 2 itens pra crescer. O Rumble ainda vai crescer muito, ele ainda tem 3 itens pra comprar. O Renekton também, sabe? Então vai se tornar uma ameaça cada vez maior pra backline. Cara, é impossível.
Well, you can say that Talon are just playing this one great. You know, a few little messy plays every now and again, but 26 minutes, 12k gold. Infinity Edge completed there for Doggo. They've got supers in the top lane. They may not even need the Soul or the next Baron to close this one out because it doesn't feel like Wildcats can really do anything to stop PSG.
Esse Renekton com o Randuin ficou muito fácil para ele counterar esses 3 carries. Randuin, a lentidão, a mitigação de dano crítico, tudo que ele faz é muito bom. Esse item é o counter completo contra essa composição da Wildcats.
River's impact that he's shown here on this Rumble, the performance Maple has had on the Silence, and whether or not they can do this again, because if Talon want to advance to the Rumble stage, then you'll be able to pick up some wins, push Pain, and push Wildcats down.
Yeah, it would send them up to 2 wins, right? So it would put them in a very good position for those later matchups. And I think that PSG, very clearly the stronger team between these two based off of this performance from start to finish. These towers now really starting to get knocked down.
Nossa, essa ult foi muito troncha, cara. Aparentemente o Ferret morreu. E é isso.
Stays alive. The Lantern from Doggo, who by the way was on the other side of the team, 1 versus 4. Just playing exactly the same way he does regionally. Maple
1v4, we'll take a 1v3.
Won't be able to find the damage just yet. Fate and Sealed is stolen. He catches 1 and 2.
Meu
the
Deus.
Support comes in from Talon. Doggo will be able to pick up the kill there onto Starscreen, and Maple is finally taken down for the first time this game, and it does not matter. Maple does not give a damn. Talon
esse jogo já acabou.
The Wildcats, 22 kills to 6, 14,000
nem debate nesse jogo mais.
In the lead, and Talon in the first round robin at MSI, 2 wins.
Cara, sinceramente, teve muitas coisas que eu não gostei nesse draft. Esse GP ali foi meio bunda, sabe? Tipo assim, pra que um GP? Se você sabe que o cara vai pegar um Renekton, por que você não pega alguma coisa forte contra ele, ou que segure ele? Sei lá, pegasse um Ornn. Você quer pegar um Weak Side? Pega um Ornn, que pelo menos vai fazer alguma coisa pro time. Que vai combinar com uma teamfight eventual de vocês. Pega um Sion, pega um campeão que vai tancar, que vai segurar o cara. Ou se você quer ganhar, você quer lutar de igual para igual com ele, pega um Darius. Sabe, mas não... Nesse estilo de matchup, nossa, isso foi muito desvantajoso para Wildcats na íntegra. Assim, não teve vantagem nenhuma nesse pick. Esse pick não tinha sentido nessa composição. Nenhum. Além disso, é exatamente uma coisa que os casters falaram também. Que basicamente o Yone é um pick 8 ou 80. Ele não tem meio termo. Ou ele snowballa e fica gigante, ou ele... não aparece no jogo. Então, se você tem um Yone e ele não faz a função dele, é a mesma coisa que não ter um Yone no jogo. A bot lane jogou magistralmente e ela acabou naquela play do bot lá, daquele dive maníaco lá que eles quiseram dar, entrando todo mundo, e aí chegou o TP flanco e eles falam, não, quer dizer, eles deram o TP flanco pra fazer a jogada, só que cara, você não dá um TP flanco com o Yone nível 5. Deixa o Yone escalar, deixa o Yone pegar nível 6, e aí depois você dá o TP que você quiser dar. Porque se aquele mesmo Yone chega ali com ult, era outro jogo. Ele pegava uma double kill ali fácil. Brincava no jogo. Mas não, o Yone simplesmente chegou, morreu que nem a batata, o outro chegou, morreu que nem a batata também, morreu todo mundo pro Silas e ficou gostoso. Aí o Silas conseguiu o cenário dos sonhos pra ele. Começar o jogo bem no jogo. O Rumble, como eu disse antes, ele tinha margem para crescer. É um dos poucos campeões que lida bem com a Morgana, porque a Morgana, ela é... O Black Shield, ele bloqueia dano mágico, então... E se você tira o dano mágico, né? Se você tira o escudo, você também tira imunidade de magia. Então, fica fácil para você controlar o mapa depois disso e ganhar o jogo. Então, basicamente é isso. Foi um jogo bem jogado por parte da PSG. Chegaram até a trollar um pouco depois de um tempo, porque estava fácil demais. Mas, basicamente é isso. Melhor jogo do dia e melhor jogo do Mundial do MSI até agora, PEN versus Mad Lion. Jogaço, jogaço, jogaço. Então é isso, guys. Muitíssimo obrigado a todos vocês. E como sempre, GG e até logo.